Hello, everybody, and welcome to the third of our E3 special podcast. This time we are going to talk about Nintendo, who had like a fuckload of stuff they announced before it was even E3. I am, as per usual, your host, Kris Lipscomb. This is the TheSixthAxis podcast. Joining me for this special is the former editor-in-chief and current editorial contributor of TheSixthAxis.com, Blair. Hello, Blair.
Hi.
And also joining us again is news editor extraordinaire Aran. Say hello, Aran.
Hi.
Who you may have heard on the Microsoft podcast that was up yesterday morning. Blair, what did they announce at the weekend? There was like a load of stuff back then. Caught you off guard.
You put me on the spot here, Kris. They announced a bit of Metroid.
Oh yeah,
the new Metroid thing, the blast ball thing. That wasn't the weekend. Was that the weekend? Yeah, it was Sunday, wasn't it?
Yeah, they had something on Sunday.
Yeah, it was like the Nintendo World Championships, and they announced a few other little things, but I don't think there's anything major. Well,
in that case, we shall focus mostly on the Nintendo Direct that was today, a few hours ago. The key thing to take away from this conference is obviously puppets, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, puppets.
Best part of the conference.
I really like that Nintendo have gone this direction rather than doing press conferences, because when they did press conferences, the humors were the humor was like unintentional. It was kind of cheesy. They just run with it. And
but they put real effort into it as well, into like making it genuinely funny.
Yeah, last year Robot Chicken was hilarious, and they managed to one up it this year.
Yeah, it was pretty great this year. Puppets, like having Reggie and who else was it? I forget. Miyamoto and who's the other one? What was his name?
Iwata,
yeah. All come out as puppets was just pretty fucking awesome, right?
It's good because they feel like they're like genuine personalities, like especially Reggie.
Reggie is just larger than life.
Hiring Reggie is like one of the best things Nintendo have done.
I think my favourite bit of that entire press conference was him coming into like Reggie's dressing room and then being like Nintendo 62, Nintendo 63, he's doing push-ups. Oh, it was brilliant.
Yeah, it's nonsense. Yeah. And then when they started to transform into Starfox characters, it just got a bit weird, but it's Nintendo.
Yeah.
It's just so Nintendo.
It was a cool way to be like, here's Star Fox.
Yeah.
So,
definitely.
It worked quite well.
Star Fox looked cool, right?
Yeah, like I was watching it, I was like, yeah, this is my childhood, but then after it I was like, yeah, it's not different enough from the game that I played.
Well, the Transformy stuff is different, right?
Well, yeah, but it just
how different do you want it to be?
It doesn't look like more expansive, or it just looks like Lilac Wars or Star Fox 64 or whatever, sort of again. I know.
Yep. Platinum Games are making this, aren't they? So it should be good.
That's probably what people want, but
I just thought it looked pretty good personally. It was curved.
Yeah, the control scheme's interesting.
Yeah, the control scheme's definitely interesting. That's a nice idea.
How it's like first person and third person at the same time.
The whole like, hey, we have shooting is just a single button now, so we've got all this other space to do shit on the controls. But I did think the idea that you've got like this kind of, as they described it, like a more cinematic camera on like TV in the third person view, and then like the actual gameplay camera is on the gamepad. I think that's pretty cool. And that's probably the most unique use we have seen of the gamepad so far, to kind of give you those joint camera angles. I don't think anything else has done something that interesting in like a single player game.
It looks like it could work well, but like I don't know, if it's going to be like Star Fox 64, you could complete in about an hour. And obviously there was lots of different paths you can take. It was amazing for its time, but I'm just worried it's going to be like that again. It's like we're just going to go from planet to planet, and it's not going to be revolutionary enough.
Yeah,
I'm just worried, but I know it's going to be fun, and I know I'm going to play it a lot.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
like that's the thing. You think like, oh, it's probably not going to be revolutionary, but yeah, I will play it.
Yeah, it just sort of looked too much of an HD remake rather than like huge space battles or something with.
Yeah, I can kind of see that. Like you want to see something a bit broader. I guess what they were going for is like the transforming stuff is the new element.
Yeah.
Rather, and that you can go out the spaceship as well. You can go out your R-wing. Wheel on like a little tether thing.
To explore hidden areas and stuff.
That's pretty neat. All right, well, let's move on in that case. If you're not excited by that, Blair, what about Super Mario Maker?
Yes.
You excited by that?
Yes, very much so.
I thought that looked actually really cool,
well,
and also the having Miyamoto and who was that? The other guy, because he's the co-designer of Mario.
Yeah, I really like them being smug about how good they were at level design.
Yeah. But I thought that was pretty neat that that's why they were like, this is a tool that's spilled out of like our internal development.
Yeah, here's how we used to do it, and
I thought that was actually the most interesting part for me, was them showing like the paper designs for Super Mario Brothers. Was fucking awesome.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see what it's like now, because I played it at last year's E3 and it was really, really quite expansive. Then it had all the different. Well, I think it was just the original back then. It was just the original Mario and New Super Mario that you could switch between, but now there's like Super Mario World and everything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And back then it was quite expansive, and some of the levels you could create were just crazy. Like some of the stuff that you see with like enemies on top of enemies and things that shouldn't be there. And it looks very good. It's just the potential that it has. Like
I really like
Nintendo don't have to release another Mario game after it, another 2D Mario game.
Yeah,
even.
But I think what I really liked of it was the Goombas underwater was kind of funny. That was a silly moment. And saying that they swim like shrimp when they're underwater.
Yeah. They actually showed more of that on Sunday.
Oh, okay.
Than they did tonight, and they showed some of the really complex levels because they were doing like Nintendo Championships and.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen like those modded versions of Mario where it's just like crazy levels and danger, everything, and you have to be extremely precise to complete it? Basically, that's what this game can do. You can just create those kind of levels.
Oh, jeez.
Like spikes everywhere, and you have very, very precise jumping. So
crazy.
It'll be good because like 2D Mario games can be quite challenging at sometimes, but people are going to create some crazy stuff. And if they get the sharing aspect right, that's the only thing I'm worried about. Nintendo
I think they'll do it.
Stuff.
I think they'll get it right.
But they are getting better.
So. Yeah, this is the game they have to prove they can do it.
But I think if you look at like the community that's building up around Splatoon and stuff like that.
Yeah. They've done really well with Splatoon and Smash Bros. Online. So.
Yeah. I think they're getting there now. I think they're finally understanding that they have to pay attention to it, or they are just going to get left behind, no matter how good the game itself is.
Yeah.
Right, whilst we have a quick poke at, I thought this was going to be really long, but we're kind of breezing through things. We had the Skylanders Amiibo thing. That looked really cool.
That's quite smart of them, coming up with another figurine platform rather than going head to head against Skylanders.
It was the way to go, right? It's absolutely genius. And I also liked that you've got the little. It's a setting.
There's you get to
Amiibo
setting,
at the bottom. Setting.
Yeah, that's really good.
The only thing I think that would have been even better if they announced like, hey, there's 2 Skylanders that go the other way.
Oh yeah, so they could be played in other games.
So you had like.
What if one of them was Spyro?
I was about to say Spyro. It'd be fucking nuts. Oh man, that'd be so exciting.
Turning up in Mario Kart or something. It'd be amazing.
Oh, that'd be incredible.
Oh my god.
Oh, Smash with Spyro.
Oh my god.
Amazing.
Oh, that'd be incredible. That'd be so good.
Is like I don't really follow Skylanders. Is Spyro like still in Skylanders?
I think so, yeah. But they only add to the cast. I don't think they've taken anyone out.
He's not the main character.
Yeah. Well, he kind of.
He's just like
he used to be when it first launched. Yeah, but now it's just Skylanders.
Yeah, because there's not really a main character right anymore. It's kind of like because it's. The idea
it's like Pokemon, isn't it?
Well, the idea, is that you play with whoever you want to play with.
Yeah.
For a start, but also that like different characters are more suited for different levels.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's good because clearly Amiibo was inspired by Skylanders.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Rather than like falling out about it. They've just came together and
together. It's the way to go, right?
Looks pretty great. It's good to see Nintendo letting other people do more with their IP, like after especially like Hyrule Warriors, like they never let anyone really touch the Zelda IP before, and Hyrule Warriors are pretty good, and now they're like, as I said, like it's a new version of Bowser that we've never seen before, and I feel like that's a good direction to move in.
All right.
That's good.
It was pretty neat.
Yeah.
What else do we have on show? Right, Metroid. Aaron, you were saying people are not going to be happy about Metroid.
Well, when they announced here's a new Metroid game, you're not going to expect a sports game, are you? Really? Let's be honest. You're kind of going to say, "Oh, Metro." Let's hope it's a Wii U game. Hey,
that was just part of it.
That is part of it, but it's not a fully fledged
it's not a fully
Metro
fledged
game.
It's quite interesting they're doing like cooperative stuff on 3DS.
Yeah.
Like they're focusing on co-op with 3DS, which it's not the most co-op friendly platform because you all have to own one like console and one copy of the game each.
Well, that's with any console really, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Multiplayer. But yeah, I thought if maybe they shouldn't have set it in the Metroid universe. Said, here's a new IP. This is what it is.
Yeah. Well,
then go on. Because if you're announcing something Metroid, people expect it to be a fully fledged entry to the series on the 3DS or the Wii U.
Yeah,
that's what people.
Yeah, they're clearly just testing the waters, though.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. No, I think they are. Yeah. I think they just want to be like, do people want Metroid?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. They could just look on the internet and see that yes, everyone wants Metroid.
It'd save them a lot of money.
That's true. Yeah. A couple of games I really liked. I really liked the Mario and Luigi Paper Jam. I thought that looked pretty neat, like mashing up their two RPG series.
Yeah, it's good. Nintendo have always been about like mashups and stuff, and it's
just a logical one, and it
does make sense.
And also, it just means they don't have to be like, oh, you got Paper Mario, where's fucking Mario and Luigi, or the other way around. So it's fine. It's like problem solved, genius. And also, Paper Mario is a pretty cool series. Yeah, like I haven't played many Mario and Luigi games, but I've played Paper Mario, and Paper Mario is fucking awesome.
I think they're quite similar, like in terms of
I think in the RPG mechanics they are, but obviously Paper Mario's got the whole like you're made of paper element to it. Yeah. So you can kind of go sidle through shit and stuff like that, fit through tiny gaps. And also the papercraft stuff they showed in it, where you get like gigantic papercraft Mario who just goes and fucks Goombas up.
Yeah,
that looked pretty awesome. The other one was the Legend of Zelda. What was it called? Triforce
Heroes.
Triforce Heroes. I thought that looked quite interesting.
Well, yeah, it's as I said, the co-op direction is an interesting one. 3-player co-op, especially.
Yeah, 3-player. But they said they tried it with 4-player, but it was too tall.
Which is
they said that that was an odd reason as well. It's like the totem was too tall. Okay. Seems like a slightly weird reason, but fine.
I expected to be limited to local, but then when they were like,
no, they talk about how it's everywhere.
Yeah, they were like, oh, it'll work well online too, and I was like, that's refreshing to see because Nintendo always been like, oh yeah, local multiplayer, but it was seeing. In
fact, it was kind of weird for them to be like, we would almost prefer that you play this online.
Yeah.
Sorry, Blair, I cut you off.
No, it's fine. Yes, seeing like Anuma talking about like online multiplayer and how he enjoys it is a good thing to see.
Yeah, it was, and it was. I've also thought it was smart to have, given that we knew Legend of Zelda, like the full core game wasn't going to be there. It's smart to have something out that's in that general franchise. I just hope it was a good looking game.
I hope the dungeons are deep. I hope it still follows like the same Zelda template, but just has 3-player.
It looks like it because it looks like it looks fairly deep. That it's got the fact it's got the customization system in it.
Yeah, and it's got the whole thing where it like starts off and everyone's obsessed with like fashion in the country, and it ties into that, and then like everyone apparently, like they said, what's happening is like 3 different people are claiming that they're the hero to save Hyrule, and that's how it happens.
Yeah.
But
I kind of just thought that looked cool to me. Like it was.
It looks like a good follow up to A Link Between Worlds. So
yeah. What else was there? Xenoblade was there. Xenoblade Chronicles. What do we think of this?
I've never really got into Xenoblade.
I've never got into Xenoblade either, but it's kind of
does look
tempted
fantastic.
me. It does look amazing.
It did look really cool, yeah.
I kind of want a Wii U for it, but I don't know if I'll get it. Maybe I will. I'll treat myself.
I just thought like that looks like a proper gigantic Wii U game, which is kind of what the Wii U needs more of. Also, Yokai Watch, which kind of looked like Digimon.
Yeah, it was a weird mix between Digimon and Pokemon.
Yeah, right. But you collect them all in your watch for some fucking reason.
And you have to go and find them. They're all hiding within the world.
Man, that game looked weird, but kind of cool. But also came out of nowhere.
Yeah, I think it'll appeal to a lot like the generation that like Pokemon and stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah. Right, should we talk about Animal Crossing? Because I missed this.
The Animal Crossing that's coming to 3DS is basically a bit of the last Animal Crossing and none of the good bits.
Oh,
like the bit where you
not ideal, really.
Well, like in the last Animal Crossing, you could like customize your house, and basically the plot of the new one is you get a job customizing people's houses, and you've got to make them happy by doing that. So it looks all right, but there's not the whole RPG mechanics and looking after your town and keeping everyone happy. It's literally just building
interior design,
the game, yeah. Which is an odd direction to take it. It just feels like they've taken a bit of the last one and expanded on it, and as I said, it's not even like the best bit.
Yeah. And then you got the Wii U one, which is a board game.
Yeah, it's Mario Party.
Yeah.
Mario Party with
Amiibos.
With Amiibos, yeah.
Amiibos and Animal Crossing. So
it's a good way to use Amiibos, Aaron, you said that you have to have an Amiibo for each player to actually play.
Yes, you do. Yeah. You have to have these. It supports up to 6 players, but every player needs to have their own Amiibo to play. Which if they're going to release it as a pack, then fine.
Yeah, if they release like the game and 3 or 4 Amiibos for like £50, then that might be alright.
But I suppose they would. There is a way to get some more money.
Yeah. But if everyone had their own Amiibos and then take them around to friends' houses and stuff. But will it only support the Animal Crossing Amiibos? That's the only thing.
You'd hope not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like a bit of a dick move if it does.
Yeah.
Right, the other thing we want to touch, because this has breezed through this. Lovely.
Yeah, no.
It's just, we kind of expected there to be a lot. Although we missed Mario Tennis.
Okay.
It was Mario Tennis.
Yeah, it's tennis. Mario's in it.
I like that. I like that you can get like super big. That looked pretty awesome.
Yeah, that was interesting.
That looked cool to me. They're just like, fuck you, I'm giant Mario serving at you now. I was like, that looks terrifying. You don't want to be normal sized Toad if gigantic Mario is serving at you. That is not going to be good. So the other thing we wanted to touch on was no Pokemon. You mentioned this.
Yeah, no Pokemon.
That was the big thing for me. Like every year since time began, Nintendo have released at least 2 Pokemon games, like 2 versions of one Pokemon game, and like it always it's like it's a new one, and then the next year it's a remake, and they have a year off for making a new one. Then they make another new one, or they make an advanced version of the previous one that came out, but they've not really announced anything. Like I'm playing through Pokemon X again, and obviously it would be fine for them to take a break because it is getting a bit overwhelming having a game every year.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's interesting that they seem to be holding back on that for now.
Do you reckon they'll wait until the adoption rate for the new 3DS is higher and then concentrate on making it for that? Or for, maybe holding it back for the next home console they make?
They didn't stop releasing Pokemon games on DS until a couple of years ago, so I doubt they're going to like jump ship to the new 3DS.
No, probably not. It seems unlikely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they like to sell a fuckload of Pokemon games.
Yeah,
turns out they're really into selling loads of Pokemon games.
Yeah, and they do.
They do.
But
All that. They sell a lot.
Yeah. Like, there's a lot of people that just buy both versions. It's like, why? It's the same game, but with a few different dialogue options and a different boss at the end.
It's because you need the different legendaries, right?
Yeah.
Need it, man. Gotta have all. Otherwise, how are you gonna catch them all, Blair?
I don't know, Chris. How?
It's important.
The whole idea.
Spend £80 and you'll be able to catch them all. That should be the tagline.
It's an important part of in fact, it is basically the entirety of the game.
Yeah, I think the catchphrase is actually "gotta catch them all." So
yeah, so you know,
yeah,
just seriously, give me Pokemon Stadium.
The last time they did a Pokemon Stadium game, it wasn't Pokemon Battle Revolution. It wasn't very good.
Yeah, but that's not Pokemon Stadium. Give me fucking Pokemon Stadium.
I think they need to do more. They couldn't just have a stadium fighter, because like the 3DS version's got all the 3D battles and stuff, and it looks good enough now that they sort of moved beyond that.
What you're not taking into account here, Blair, is I would play it.
You know what would be good? You know what would be really good, which I have no idea why they haven't done yet, is Pokemon Snap on the Wii U.
Yes, that'd be fucking amazing.
That would work.
It's got it's got like it's a fucking
moving around the gamepads and taking photos of Pokemon. It's like
the system is basically built for this.
Yeah.
And they're like, nah, I'm not gonna do it. Nah. It's like, didn't they have a demo that was taking photos as well? I'm sure that was one of like the early demos for the Wii U. And they're like, we probably can't apply this to any of our franchises.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a mini game in the WarioWare kind of game.
Jesus Christ.
You just take photos of things.
Just tire us, Nintendo.
I know.
We'll just tell you to play Pokemon Snap all day.
But I do feel like, on a completely different note, I do feel like Nintendo are sort of accepting the Wii U's.
Yeah, they seem to be very 3DS focused, right?
They're sort of especially when Reggie came out, it was like, we're going to talk about the NX soon. Don't worry, guys. We'll talk about that next year. So that's out next year probably. But still, like, they didn't show Zelda, which pretty much confirms. Well, they said they weren't going to show Zelda anyway, but I don't think it's going to be a Wii U game anymore, or just a Wii U game. It might be like Twilight Princess, which is
I reckon
across two consoles. But that would be very disappointing because, like, the Wii U is a really, really good console, and like when I think it'll be one of my favorite consoles just due to the games on it. And if I look back and there's not that big Zelda game on it, I'll just be like, oh, okay. That's not good. Because there's always like a Zelda game per Nintendo console. At least one.
Yeah, you gotta be.
I do feel like they're ready to move on though, and they're just sort of.
It just feels like they're playing the clock out, right?
Yeah, but they're not giving up on it, which is
no, but it does.
They're still doing Star Fox. They're still doing Yoshi's Woolly World. Look, Yoshi's Woolly World. There's another one that looks amazing.
Yeah. And to be fair, Yoshi's Woolly World does look fucking incredible, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. The story of how they made the Amiibos was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. The lady who went home and made.
Yeah.
Although it was slightly less impactful after we had Unravel at the EA conference, which was a very similar story, but like sweeter as well.
Yeah.
I
did like it how they were at EA. They were like, "Oh, Unravel, it's like nothing you've ever seen before," and I was like, "I've seen Yoshi's Woolly World." Don't lie to me.
To be fair, Unravel looks like a mixture of Yoshi's Woolly World and Little Big Planet, but also looks like its own thing as well.
Yeah.
But the physics look really Little Big Planet in that game.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Like, it's just the way that he swings and stuff.
Before.
Like, when you see him swinging from the top of things, like, those physics are really Little Big Planet.
The only thing about Woolly World is that it's going to be very easy. Like, obviously, they said at the presentation that the difficulty will come in finding all the collectibles, but that's not really difficulty, is it? That's just
time consuming.
Spending more time on the game. Like, I think, but that's always been their sort of thing with this, like, Yoshi games in general. In this game, they've been like, hardcore gamers will go for the collectibles, where the casual gamers will just play the game. But yeah, I suppose they've got Donkey Kong and the 2D Mario games if you want difficult platformers.
Yeah. Right. I think that's probably going to wrap it up, though.
Yeah.
Not much else we need to talk about. This has been the Thingamajig Nintendo one. We talked about Nintendo.
This has been the Nintendo one.
Yeah, we talked about
just
Nintendo.
Just the Nintendo one.
Yes.
It's like, this is my third podcast in 2 days. Shut up.
Yeah.
Starting to melt brain.
That was the best one, Kris.
It was.
It was
the best one.
I was here and everything.
Anyway, thank you to Blair. You can get at my name is Blair on Twitter, and Aaron, you can get at Aran Suddy. That's Suddy with 2 Ds and an I. I have been your host, Kris Lipscomb. You can get me on Twitter as HalPro. That's HALB Pro. Thanks for listening. If you want to get the podcast, you can get it at TSA Podcast. Say goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye.